Hello and welcome back to another Patreon replay analysis. Today we are looking at GooglyWooglyWoo. Definitely one of the most positive people I think I've ever had the pleasure of communicating with over Discord. Every time he sends messages, full of emojis, emotion, laughs. It makes me smile every time he sends messages, so I do appreciate him a lot. Today we're going to be going through his ones replays from the most recent ASAP Weekly podcast monthly throwdown. So this was a 1v1 tournament. GooglyWooglyWoo was facing off against Dave, one of our crew members for the podcast. He, I believe, is like a diamond, it's a champ ones-ish player in that area. GooglyWooglyWoo only recently starting ones is in the gold 3 area. So is very open, saying he's got a lot to learn and really does want to try to improve here. I know specifically with Googly, I had previously looked at some threes replays. We chatted a lot about that. So I think he's trying to take a break from threes, focus on some ones, see if he can get some own personal development, which is definitely one of the best ways to do it. And so I'm hoping we can go through that. I do believe this is actually going to be the first ones replays I've gone through on at least this channel here. And I'm excited to dive into it. And so by no means am I a ones expert. I'm not a pro. I'm not a top 100 player. I don't grind ones. I haven't had a ones rank in several seasons. But when I did grind ones, I was on average, I like to say I'm a champ 3 player, but I definitely trickled between champ 2 and champ 3 when I was playing. That's the only competitive game mode, other than not counting solo standard, because that's not a real game mode, that I didn't grind through the GC ranks, I guess technically if you want to call it, through the MMR, each 16, 17, and so on. In the hundreds there. And so I like I said, I definitely don't know it all. Luckily my play style of being a more kind of safe, thorough, thoughtful player does tend to lend itself well to ones, but the best part about ones is that even players like me, where I do think my playstyle lends well, if I don't have the mechanics to back it, then I'm not going to be as successful as I would hope to be, right? And so the best part here for Googly in this case is that I'm going to really harp on a lot of these positional mindset, decision making, things like that, but instead, what I really want to make sure I kind of say now, just in case I don't cover it a lot in the kind of coming review, is to really look at your mechanics as well. And so through a replay, it's almost impossible to coach mechanics. I can definitely talk about maybe things that I'd like to see you try, or steps you should be taking, or whatever that looks like, but I can only go so far and do so much. So really try to identify the little whiffs when I bring them up, or little things like that. For all you know, maybe you have a perfect game, there's no whiffs, but I hope that you can try to take that and on your own try to identify. And then in particular, if let's say there's a mechanic or a skill or something that you're like, ooh, I'm lacking there, and you don't really know where to start, definitely shoot me a message, reach out, and we can work through that together. That is definitely why you're in this tier with me and working through that. So we're going to dive right on in. I don't want to waste too much time. Ones tends to be a bit of a longer review because there's so much thought behind every single play. So Googly did send me 2 replays. We'll see. Maybe I get to both, but I picked his larger loss of the 2 scores because I do believe he was 2-0 swept, to kind of break that down and see where we go. So let's dive into the kickoff. As a Fennec main, I gotta love it. Gotta say, happy to see it. Great diagonal kickoff. Beautiful kickoff win. Really, really good kickoff win. Secure the boost, secure the ball, and here we go. Quick peek at Dave. I love to see it. Good patience. Good 50. Really beautifully done. Good 50 as well. Absolutely no comments or anything too crazy right now. Beautiful pad usage. Good patience. Good boost grab. Oh, a little slow on the challenge, and so this is ones in a nutshell. So you, up to this point, have made basically every decision, every challenge, every flip, every mechanic right, in my opinion. The only note I may have gave is right here when you get your pads. You see Dave, you both kind of slow down at the exact same point. I tend to what I like to do is when you're supersonic, you're not wasting any boost, you're not wasting anything other than time and space, right, if you stay supersonic. So in one specific, I really like to keep going at the ball supersonic to kind of figure out what the opponent's going for. So here, you're coming right down the middle line. Yeah, you don't have a lot of boost, but if you keep your eye on Dave, he also slows down to allow this ball to bounce and then come back down. And so if you had actually just driven through, you could have done one of 2 things. You could have driven under the ball as it was bouncing, secure the boost, loop back around and go, because odds are if you do that, Dave will see you and pull out, and he'll be like, oh, like he's gonna hit this ball, so now like, oh, he's fast, right, and I can't challenge this. Or as the other option, literally come right through, try to jump high on the ball so that it rolls up the wall. Ideally, your momentum will bring you through the boost and you can follow it yourself and keep the play going. This is a risky play, right? And ones is all about risk and reward. And so you pulling out here, like I said, this was just a note. It's not, you did not do the wrong thing. I think you make a safe play here. But there tends to be a bit of a give and take in ones of how much do you want to concede the ball, right? So you here, despite both of you kind of being pretty almost equidistant from the ball here, you are the one who makes the decision to pull out. You choose to concede, get your full boost, and make the play. As soon as you look back, this is such a good play. I love that you do this because right away you already know that you are lined up with the boost, right? Like you already know you're going right into the boost down here, and so why stay in straight cam, right? So you switch back to ball cam. Perfect. We can already see that Dave has jumped and Dave has hit the ball. Therefore, he's committed to this action. So I would even go as far to say is that the second that you secure this boost, I'm hard drifting and you are flying at that ball because Dave has already made his decision. Where I agree, though, with you not instantly challenging is the fact that, I want your view. By the time you turn, I'm with you here if this was your train of thought. Dave has already landed, right? Dave has already recovered and is going to be in a position to make a play. So if you are now in this position where you're in a bit of a no man's land, so you would have either needed to make the decision a little quicker to already be challenging us, cutting the angle, so ideally kind of aiming for this side of the ball so that if he does beat you to it, at least your car is already here, right? And you can already kind of get that block in. But by this point, you are, like I said, you haven't made that decision. So at this point, you just got to start cutting the angle and go back to net, right? And this is that decision making of almost in an instant that is needed for high level ones, and really dominating in ones is the ability to basically shake up your offense every time. You were very aggressive in his corner, both sides, when you're going for that challenge, and then followed him, and then followed across. Like you've been aggressive thus far. You've now just conceded, right? Like I said, so you came across the neutral zone, you came back. So Dave is probably thinking, oh, I can probably beat him to this ball now because you just showed a moment of weakness, right? So we already know he's going to be committing to this ball. So that's why I give you those two options of you can't sit in this no man's land. Instead, you either need to rush him and hopefully catch him off guard, right? By challenging that right away, or you need to concede to net. And I will always say, this is a mindset I tend to take into ones. I will always say the first goal should set the tone for the entire game, generally for people's heads. And you need to be the one to basically break that tone, whether you are the one who said it or not. So in this case, right now, let's say you take the first piece of advice that I gave and you got this boost and you drifted right here and you're already challenging it instantly. Like you didn't do this kind of wider turn that now you're coming out. And you boom it by him. Dave jumps, goes all the way to their end, and you walk into an open net. Bing, bang, boom. Your speed secured you the first goal of the game. The next play, and this is what I'm talking about tone, Dave is like, ooh, I was slow there, or like, ooh, he's fast, one of the two. And so now he's going to be second guessing any of these tighter challenges and probably do what you did in this neutral zone here and start conceding a little more. This is where, like I said, you set the tone, and now you can start to break it or do whatever you want with it, right? And so now instead, since this didn't happen, and instead since Dave was able to not only get the first touch, and then I said I would love for you to challenge, but then also get the second touch with the little pop by you, and you see he doesn't even jump, right? Like that's how confident he was that he was going to beat you with that. He didn't jump, he didn't flip, he didn't do anything. It was pure confidence that got him by there, and now all he's got to do, quick little jump and pop it into an open net, right? And so that is now when we get into the second kickoff, you have now had the tone set against you. Therefore, you need to start trying to figure out how to break that tone. So now he knows that you conceded one and then instantly challenged. So like if I'm Dave right now, I'm being like, okay, he's playing a little slower, right? Like he's playing a safe game, but he panicked on the goal line, right? Like that's what I see there if I'm Dave. So now what you need to start doing is you should rush challenges but slow your offense. So pull out the opposite, right? This is all a mind game. That's all ones really ends up being, and this would be a great way for you to start taking advantage of what is an unfortunate first goal against. I hope that makes sense. Another good kickoff, good boost, good patience, really good patience there. And you can see, so this is a big note that I see. He respects you, right? And this is, like I said, it should always be information gathering. This pops. Dave, in ideally, if I'm Dave here, I would be going for this ball, right? So like I go through. Oh, okay, cool. Can't get that one. Instantly into the boost. I see that you're not in a position. Because you're on the wall. I'm rushing this because I don't think you're going to be able to get a good touch off the wall. But you see, he respects you. He respects you. He respects you. He respects you, right? Like the most amount of respect that he was worried that you would be able to beat him, get a shot on net, or do something with it. So he was sitting back, right? And he wasn't challenging right away. And this means that still he is not fully in control, right? And now you as a player, if let's say you're the better player and you can start identifying this is what you can start trying to take advantage of. So now you know that he respects you. So rushing an offense isn't going to work. Just like I said before, I want you to slow down that offense, right? When you're coming in, rush to the ball, but slow the actual attack, just like you did here, which was flawless. Pop it up over, Dave gets a good clear, and go from there. But this is what I'm talking about, the rush to the ball, which you've done, but you also rush the challenge, which we don't need. Dave is well in a position, he jumps even before you do, to be able to get a short clear on this ball. So what we want to be doing instead is drifting out. Oh, I need the other color. Drifting out so you can turn back in and take his short touch, because we know, yes, he has his full boost and everything, and he's trying to save it with this double jump here, but he has an awkward touch, and we can try to abuse that. And like I said right away, when instead we jump to this, he's now won that ball with an awkward touch. He has boost to work with, and now boom, we're on shadow defense. So he just turned what should be a pretty pressured offense from you right now into a good breakout. Definitely kudos to Dave there. Like he just made a good play in general, but there are ways that you can start to abuse this play style, right? And a quick challenge is exactly how to do that. Great job. And so now you've done the opposite from your last goal against, right? By just slowing him down quick there and then conceding rather than conceding right away, you're keeping it unique, right? You're keeping it different. This is exactly how you should be looking into these kind of plays. Good pop. I'm never crazy about aerials, but you get a good dunk on it, and you can see Dave instantly, and this kind of goes back to that like rush challenging that I was talking about. Dave is in control here. Once he comes, it rolls up, and instead of rushing it, he knows you're going to have an awkward touch, so he waits. You see what I mean? This is what I want you doing on offense. So he's close to you, so you feel pressured, but the second you make your commitment, he's ready to eat it up, right? Like he's a shark in the water, ready to take that away. And this is what your offense should look like as well. Like I said, you have a great follow here, and you get a really good dunk on him, and are able to put that into the corner. But boom, he has now secured pressure. He has secured control of this game, right? So you are going to be low boost because you aerialed. Like I said, I'm generally pretty against aerials. And he has your corner boost, so you can't get this one. So he knows you're a fish out of water right now, who's pretty stuck, and he's going to start trying to abuse this. You get a great touch out. Unfortunately, you don't get the half flip as much as you want. I'm going to go back to your perspective. Good try on the half flip, almost at the cancel. And the boost miss. Oh, that breaks my heart. And then the ride on the post. Very close. I think if you'd gotten that boost, I think we would have been okay. But riding that post, always going to be a downfall. I'm sure you did not mean to intend that. And that just is going to come with time. Googly, that's just going to come with time and working on knowing without having to look exactly where you're coming into the net. And Dave ends up getting a nice shot in behind you. But can you see what I mean about that transition of pressure? Of you go for an aerial that is less than desirable. You have 100 boost. You have now used 70 of it. And then the rest of it to get into the corner. Dave secures it. You're like, oh, now you're kind of stuck, right? Fish out of water. You get a great backflip here. And then fortunately go, oh, maybe there wasn't a boost. Yeah, maybe it was just the replay being weird. And he can capitalize on you, right? And so I hope you can see what I mean about that. Like, you should rush your offense, but be incredibly patient on the challenge, right? Really break it down, be smart, wait for them to make the mistake or the move, and then capitalize. Where on defense, same thing. Good aggressive challenges whenever you can. Be surprising, be shocking, be unique, right? And really shake it up, which you did really good there before getting stuck in your own end. Looks like another great kickoff. It is. You were dominating him in kickoffs. Absolutely dominating him. And this is where you want to start capitalizing, right? Good. Boost steal. I love it. But what's the point, right? What's the touch? And this is what we got to address. Rolls out. You already see Dave in net, right? Like, you already know he's here. I know you've already started boosting. Don't get me wrong. Like, hindsight 2020, right? But what's the plan here when you tip this? Because all we're really doing is passing to him, and you're hoping to take a 50. But if we think about this, if you are, let's say, right here, and you take the 50, this ball is very likely going this way back. Oh my god, wrong color again. Very, very likely going this way into your end. If you are here where you are and 50 while Dave comes in, this ball is very, very likely going either up or any in this direction. It kind of has like this cone of where it can probably end up going, right, from where you're meeting. Don't mind that part. And anywhere else, there's no 50 you can take here that is going to help you on offense. That's why Dave goes into this, right? There's no risk for him to take this 50. There's literally only reward. And so when he comes in now instead, and like I said, it's just a hard 50 from your positioning in general, he just booms it by you. It's not even a 50. You're now in his net. You got to recover, and don't get me wrong, your recovery, fantastic recovery, super butter smooth recovery. That looks amazing. I don't even think you were recovering like that last time we had one of your replays. So I love seeing that improvement. But what was the point, right? And like what was the point of that entire play? You had phenomenal offense. You took his boost. You had pressure, and we didn't use it because you rushed your touch, not him, right? We need to make him rush the touch every single time. Same thing. What are we aerialing, right? Watch this. 100 boost. 30 boost used just to get to the ball. 60 boost used just to aerial it. But where are we aerialing it? Yeah, we land on a full boost, but now we're trying to catch it. Now we don't even have a line on the net, right? And again, we push the ball. Dave gets should be an easy clear, and unfortunately should be a goal against. Like I wish he did get around that one, but like I said, I'm really not going to harp on mechanics all too much. So right now, like as soon as you see that miss, oh baby, you know it's clean, right? So you gotta quick drift, get around, and bring that on net. These are the kind of little mechanics that like it's not flip resets, it's not aerials, it's not air dribbles, it's not ceiling shots that win one's games. It's being able to capitalize on every single mistake. And so learning how to drift well with your car to instantly get around and fire that on net is a absolute godsend of a skill that you should work on if you do want to get better at ones, because you like I said, Dave is still midway through a flip. He is absolutely leaving the zone right now. He's stressing right when he comes out. If we watch this from his perspective, watch this. You pop this, should be a clear for Dave. He panics and misses, and look how much time it looks like you have, but he's able to come in and just continue to push you to the corner, right? And he's been very smart in saving his boost. See what I mean? Of that, like where before when I challenged you about using so much, he's now done 2 full challenges and he still has 60 boosts without getting another full one. So now he's got time to bump you, get a 50, do what he can, and turn that around the other way, right? Same thing. You hit this ball. Let's go back again. That flick I don't mind. It's a good position play into the corner. But you turn, you hit this ball. Where's it going? What's the plan? And I'm sure you try to put that on net. Like I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt there and assume that you did really try to put that on net. But what's the point, right? What are we trying to achieve when doing this? Next up, next big meta of ones. Demos are OP in ones. Absolutely overpowered in ones. The second you see that he is the slightest bit ahead of you right now, you should see him and only him. This is the exact same thing I was talking about risk and reward. This ball is going this direction over to the wall. There's zero threat on your net. There's absolutely zero way physically possible that Dave can come all the way around and then boom that on your net without you getting to this ball incredibly faster than him, right? And so you know there's no threat. So the ball's in his end. So if you take him out of the play, GG, that's a free goal, right? Every single time that is a free goal. So you should only be seeing his body right now and trying to take him down, which it looks like you try, but then you kind of give up. And so like I would have rather you use all your boost there and try to take the body, right? But now instead we rush to this boost, and now we're here. Good patience. That's what it should look like every time. Good flick. Very, very lucky touch from Dave, unfortunately for you. Shots you shouldn't miss, right? We got to be quick on those, right? And that's what I'm talking about. It's not the ceiling shots. It's not the flashy mechanics. You should be scoring this every time. You should already be boosting at this ball, right? The second you see this ball, watch, goes over, ball pops, you now see the trajectory. Why are we still driving away, right? We already know where the trajectory is going. Let's see you full speed at it. You gave Dave 14 years to get back to that ball, right? Look at the man. He landed backwards. Look how close you are to it. And he still beats you to it, right? And that is, well, he doesn't beat you, but he 50s it at least. And that cannot happen if you want to be successful in ones, right? You got to make sure you're hitting these shots. And the shots you shouldn't miss pack, Biddle's consistency, all of those kind of packs that are focused on off-angle shooting would be huge for you here in ones now and can really, really help you out. Good try. I think I saw the demo attempt, if that's what it was. Very, very good try. Oh, nice try. So here's an interesting thing on recovery. So you have a beautiful recovery here. You are still going with speed. Right now, if you wait a little longer, I think you make this challenge, right? But you flip early, which means that you go through this ball, like, because it's the second you side flip, you lose that forward momentum, right? So like if you're going forward and you side flip, you're basically going like that, or instead we need to be cutting the angle like this. You are currently on a path that will cut the angle perfectly as this ball's moving forward, because if we move, so let's say like we move like in like quarter seconds, right? Like let's say like that, those are your like quarter seconds from like jump 1, 2, 3, 4, like that. if we do the same with the ball, assuming it's going about the same speed, that means we have 1, 2, 3, 4. So by the time you get here, the ball has already passed you, and that's exactly how this goal goes in. So for these kind of recoveries, as we're making our way down, you really, really, really got to be trying to cut the angle first, know that you have the angle cut, and then flip is what we should be going for here. And so this literally comes down to you just unfortunately flipping a little too early for where the play is at. See how you turn, and so you instantly lose all that forward momentum, and you actually get a ghost hit. Not going to lie, you do get the ghost hit. So you definitely could have potentially had that. But unfortunately, no touch, right? And now we're stuck 3 down, with 3 minutes left in the game. But it's ones, baby. We can score goals in 5 seconds apiece with some kickoff goals, right? Big pop, good patience. Little awkward on the dribble. Little awkward. Good flip, man. But why are we waiting, right? Look. You get bumped. You actually go to straight cam when you do this. It looks like. Let's see it again without the camera screwing up. You do. You're in straight cam. We got to be in ball cam right away, because if you didn't do that half flip into diagonal flip to feel like your smooth recovery, you actually could have challenged Dave a little quicker, right, and been right on that. And you do end up turning in time, right? But he's gotten a quarter way down the field already without any pressure from a flick that you just dominated him with, right? And so now, and if we go back to the beginning when I was talking about the mental game, you, in the last 2 goals against, you have actually outflicked him. This is an incredibly awkward dribble, but how fast you turn this with a nice little drift and a flick, you've outflicked him now twice in a row, meaning 2 things. 1, he's probably going to start respecting your flicks a little more, and he might not be so quick to challenge. Use that and abuse that. And 2, don't fake, don't do anything. Only flick for now, right? Flick until you score a goal with it, or you see that he's reading them. And then the second you think he's reading it, or the second you think you score from it, or whatever that may be, change it. Go to a fake, go to a dribble, go to whatever you end up going, go for a boomer, something to switch it. This should always be, whether you're down 14-0 or you're winning 14-0, this should always be your mindset in ones of trying to stay unique at all times. And like I said, the half flip, smooth, sure. Was it worth it? Not at all. You were in his end and you half flipped out of it when he's the one under pressure right now. He now secured 100 boost. He secured the ball and tipped it by you, right? Good job not aerialing. I'm see you learned. Good demo every time. Good attempt. And now take note. He's missed 2 backboard reads. It's something we can abuse, right? So the next time you try to go for a shot, don't shoot. Shoot higher on the backboard and see if he misses that read. Don't jump to it. Don't do anything. A play that he hits it. Assume that he hits it, but stay close enough to abuse the miss, right? This should be this like mental math that you're always doing. You're holding a ton of pressure right now on him. He's probably pretty low on boost following the last play. And now we a questionable 50. I'll be honest here. You tip this out and you recover well, right? Like you put yourself on goal side. These are so risky though, because if you're even just a smidgen slower, like if the front of your car is like here when you come and hit this ball I guarantee is flying on your net, right? It's completely going on net. So I strongly dislike these kind of challenges. I tend to, instead of bringing it out like the way you did, I much prefer rolling it high and then jumping off for like a doomsday dish as the ball comes to meet me like that. I go for quite a bit and I practice quite a bit, and it works very well in ones because it's low risk, right? If you do this and they get a good clear, great. Instead of flipping into the ball, you're just going to flip away from the ball, land, get your boost, and now you're cycling back out, right? I love the doomsday dish. This, however, 50 is scary for me, but nonetheless, like I said, you recover beautifully, you get a great 50, and we get a goal out of it. You're right back in the game. Oh, your first rough kickoff, unfortunately, but you don't get dinged for it. Interesting choice on the no boost, but I do like it. You're keeping it fresh, right? You're keeping it unique. Good pressure play. Dude, absolutely flawless pressure play. Now you know you're in control, right? You've beat him twice, both times without boost. You've taken his boost. You should be the one pressuring with control now, but you rush the flick. What are we flicking to, right? What are we trying to do here? Yes, he's boostless, and unfortunately you missed that one when I really wish you had gotten it, and then we missed the shot. Unfortunate again, something both twice now you could have capitalized, but if we bring it back, I don't agree with the flick, right? Because he has like even if he's completely boostless, right? All he's got to do is drive slightly forward and double jump, slightly more forward and double jump, or just double jump, and he has at least half of the net covered right now for this flick, right? And very seldom are you probably going to be able to pick like this corner to be able to get that goal in, right? Because even still, he could probably do a quick little drift turn and then double jump and probably get there, right? Like he has a significant amount of the net covered. He's currently in a fantastic position to shadow this shot. And so what's the point of the flick? I see afterwards that you try to get up, right? Like you try to aerial to it and then hit it in, which is a great attempt. And I agree, as soon as you do it, you might as well go for this, right? But be patient here, right? He has no boost. And so even still, what's stopping you from just putting the ball safely in the corner and going and demo him, right? Try to keep it unique. Try to keep it fresh. You've been flicking really well, so he expected it, right? He respected you and went back to the net. Cool, we're not flicking this time, we're demoing this time, right? We're showing that we have a big toolbox. We can do whatever we want. Like I said, you have a great follow attempt. I wish it went in. You tip, you should shoot here. You do. Unfortunately, should have went in. And then why aren't we? You have the pressure. He has no boost right now, right? He's at least low. Let's see what he's got. Oh no, where did he get a full boost? Oh, we got that one. Oh, I didn't even see. Okay, cool. Regardless, I still think you have the pressure, right? So you still have 20 boost to work with. He hit you. If you turned your car more to the left here and landed on your wheels, you would be able to steal this boost, turn back in for ball again. Great. Now he's wasting more boost, right? And you're keep this pressure. You're the one losing right now. Therefore, you need to be the one controlling offense. But you concede, right? He takes ball. He takes boost. He has possession. That's not what we need right now. He rushes his flick, and we challenge. Good job. Why are we jumping, right? Let him panic. Let him make the mistakes. So he knows you're tight, right? Like you've moved in so close that he knows you're tight. Don't even jump. Just hit the brakes. Just wait. Let him boom it. Because he booms it. You could have taken that corner boost, which now he secures. Oh, I think I hit a button. There you go. Which he now secures and takes the boost out. And now you're the one recovering no boost, right? Be patient, right? Be fast. Be like an absolute predator on the ball, but wait for the moment to pounce, right? Don't actually always throw yourself at it. Good challenge. Good job. Oh, unfortunate. He has a good pop from Dave here, but you see how he respects you again, right? So he's leaving, but then he sees you turn back in, so he's like, oh, perfect, I'll stay. Dave has like half a tank, and realistically, he's got plenty to work with, but he was still going to retreat, right? That's how much he respected you. So we need to abuse that, right? He respects the hell out of your offense, Googly. Like you by this point in the game, you got to start assessing that, right? And starting to break that down. And he sees that you don't come. He pops it over your head. And now he nearly should have a goal ideally, but he doesn't put a good shot on net. And now he recovers back for his own end. We're down to a minute left. Very speedy recovery from you. Good patience. See what I mean? So you didn't flip into it. You didn't just try to shoot. Dave panicked. Dave takes a bad 50. You take a fantastic 50. Now we sit for the absolute silver platter. Bing, bang, boom. You are completely in this game now, right? Decent kickoff. Good boost secure. You're in no man's land, right? Let's see. And slow. Okay, so let's look at this. Great boost secure. Great jump. You make him panic. By this point, you have to know already that he's turned back in, that he's going to beat you, right? Like, I guarantee, I know you know that, right, when you come in here. So at this point, you got to just respect his touch, right? You just got to leave instantly. But you do this little wiggle as you come through, almost faking. But like I said, that's just going to burn you in the long run. And it does, right? But you do this little wiggle, and then by the time he's at the ball and already hitting it, you're like, no, I'm a little close now. And by this point, same thing. Always take it that the second the ball is probably about a car length or two in front of you, and you can see your net and you can see the wall where it's going to hit and everything, this is where you got to start pushing yourself a little more for these reads. This is the shot that you had missed earlier that I'd referenced, but now you're Dave in this situation. But you see right away, let's watch Dave in this one, and this just shows like a bit of a higher ranked confidence. Let's see how Dave plays this. Big boom. Instantly full boosting as soon as he sees trajectory, instantly jumps at it, doesn't even get a good read. Like, he actually almost nearly misses that ball, but he scores because of it, right? Just because you were a little more patient on the defense there and waited just that little extra bit longer. Right? Abuses you for it. And then this, like, not a whole lot of comments. This is just an unfortunate pop. What I tend to do on these ones, and this is hard because this does require, honestly, just an obscene amount of patience. But where I tend to go on these ones is when this ball pops around, as soon as I see that it's popping like that, I don't jump. I wait, because you see, like I said, Dave is playing close, so you panic, so he's fast, but he doesn't pounce until he knows, right? He just drives. He sees you hit it, boom, now he attacks, right? So you basically need to outweight his pounce. So I tend to just drive along the wall, wait until I see he's pretty close, and once he goes for the 50, then I line it up because I'm waiting to see his hand before I show mine, right? That it's just this elongated waiting game is really what high level ones is, and you definitely have the mechanics to back it. You just got to be a little more patient because as soon as you pass it out, I know instantly. You're like, yep, that's a goal against, right? And you know it instantly. So unfortunate to say the least. And the replay ends there. Oh, did you FF? Last piece of advice as I close this off: never FF in ones. Never. And this is coming from someone who FFs all the time, because when I'm in 2 or 3s, if I'm down by 4 with about 2 minutes or just under left, I will always forfeit because it's just more worth it to get out of that headspace, go hopefully win the next game and feel better about the game. Ones though, you have been absolutely dominating Dave in kickoffs up until the last 2, and if you can just get in a decent headspace, all it takes is about 5 seconds for a good kickoff to be turned into a goal, which is, they're honestly, like, I'm sure if you ever watch, like, go watch some of the Johnny Boy show matches of, like, the high-level ones, you'll see the games tend to be, like, 7-6 or 7-5 because there's a lot of kickoff goals, right? Like, that's a very significant part of being good at ones. And so, honestly, you are almost never out for the count or down for the count when you're playing ones, specifically since you have such good kickoffs, right? So if you interlay this now focus on patience, as I continue to talk about it, with your good kickoffs, you could come back from a 4, 5, 6 goal deficit, right? And then you'll slowly start to kind of understand, like, okay, like, what's the math here? How many goals can I get? 3 in 40 seconds, incredibly reasonable in ones. Super reasonable to do in ones. I've done it many times, and I'm not that good of a ones player. So, and I know from watching your kickoffs, you definitely could have as well. So, just keep that in mind moving forward. But there you go. So we can leave it there. I apologize not getting into the 2, but I definitely want to stay under the kind of 35-ish minute cap that I've been doing for all the videos. Thanks for sending this again. I know we had a bit of a mix-up with the replays, and I'd done one of your old ones by accident, which I'm just dumb because you told me it was ones and I did a 3s replay. But that's okay. I always have a blast doing your replays. You're a lot of fun to watch because you are a very talented player, and it's really, really fun to see. And your improvement has been just immaculate in the last month. So super impressed seeing that happen. So like I said, we'll leave it there for now. The biggest thing, the big 2 things I want to take away from you is little mechanics. So, but base mechanics, right? So you're not doing flip resets. You're not doing ceiling shots, you're not doing any stuff like that. Focus on your shooting, focus on your car control with drifting and free play, in training packs, whatever that looks like. Focus, maybe even the dribble challenge is really good because you have to do some drift cuts and stuff like that in it, if you ever look at that. And then secondly, your mindset, right? Like, if I can give you any analogy, always think of yourself as like the tiger, all right, or the lion watching and playing ones, that you are always so fast to track and stay close to and kind of slowly almost case your opponent, right? And slowly break down what they do, what's their routines, what's their standards. And then the second you see any points of weakness as you start to identify them over the game, absolutely abuse them, right? Like, attack, pounce, do whatever you need to do to abuse those. And so right away you saw that Dave respected your flicks. So as soon as you start to settle that in, don't flick, right? Switch it up. Boom. That's your new pounce, right? You start to notice that you had some really good pressure on offense, but we didn't capitalize because you didn't pounce in his moments of weakness, right? We didn't capitalize on those moments of weakness. So really start trying to look at those. But I see a very, very bright future for you in ones, man. Like, if you can start to refine these, you are going to jump from gold to like diamond in a heartbeat. I can tell you that right now. So keep up the great work. Thanks again for submitting the replay. Thank you to anybody who is watching, listening, or whatever medium you choose to go through. I've been Combo for the ASAP Weekly Podcast. This has been another Patreon replay analysis, and we'll see you next month. Thanks so much. Bye for now.